Morning, my friends. Today is day 37 of this house build. The local power company came in today. They gave me a guesstimate as to where things were going to go in the past. Now they're here since I have a foundation poured, footers poured. They are willing to actually stake it out and tell me exactly where things are going to go. He's asking some questions, so let me go check what's going on. All right, he just basically had a couple questions for me around trees and gates and whatnot, how they're going to get their trucks in to my pasture where I got some goats and sheep and pigs. But there's a transformer on the edge of my property all the way down at the bottom of the hill. Where he's standing right now, he says it is 500 foot on the nose to put a pole up here at the top of the hill, and the power line's going to kind of come a little diagonal across that pasture. Not too diagonal, but they just have to go a little bit of an angle, because I want this tree line behind me, I want the power to go along this tree line behind me, so it's not going across my pasture over here. So they will give you 800 feet of distance included with the service, subsidized, subsidy, whatever, one of those fancy S words. Beyond 800 foot you have to pay. So right now he's at 500. So once they're done marking that one, then we go and see, am I 300 plus feet or under, to figure out how much is this going to cost me. This is part of the view I'm trying not to obscure with power lines. My house is gonna mainly look that way, but we do have a good view looking over there as well. So I want the power to follow these trees that are more in the backyard than anywhere else. Right now, the two power guys are right over the crest of that hill. They were at 500 foot, as I said, so I want them to bring power up to somewhere back there, put the last transformer, well, the only transformer up here, and then come down. And I had this brainstorm idea just to shove a marker, an X in the ground, put a power pole or something over here, and then have it underground from the transformer to where that X is over to the house, so you don't see any power going to the house. I don't want a meter on the house because of all the windows on the back and the walkway on the side, so not really a good place to put the meter unless I go all the way down to the end of the house. And I don't want to pay the extra to go all the way down just to bring it back, because the inside panel is essentially in the middle of the house. So we shall see what they say as they come up here. While we're waiting, let's go take a look at the walls that were added by the cement guys today. So they added some of the last 2 foot section, 8 foot panel, 2 foot panel, and they started adding that around some of the back, not all the way. Looks like they finished up to the corner, and they got a corner piece on there to start going across the front. That's where they got to start framing stuff in for garage door, sliding glass door, window. And then they added the 2 foot wall on this cross wall that's going to be going down the middle. Rick had pinged me about he wants to talk about beam pockets, so I need to figure out what he wants to chat about beam pockets. But there needs to be a beam pocket in the top of this wall, 12 inch by however wide the beam is, I don't know. Same thing over there, so a beam will hover across the top, being supported by those two. They got to the corner, and I think I see how they're going to do the retaining wall. Let's walk around and look at the retaining wall over there, how it's going to blend into the house. And here is why they had those metal pieces that had the angles in them, to tie the corner of the house to this retaining wall that is supposed to be 22 degrees, 22.5 degrees. Maybe I need to go out there and measure. If he's off by half a degree, I'm not sure how this is going to look. But you see how this wall's going to step down. What I don't know is, do I want actual steps like this right here, or do I want him to pour the cement in there that gradually goes down? Haven't decided on that. Need to talk to my wife and get her opinion. But we can see from up here how they're going to have it all as one big pour. They definitely have rebar inside of the retaining wall, and they came all the way to the end. Does that rebar tie together back here? Why, yes it does. you can see where they have the rebar. They actually have two pieces that bend around the corner and go down the retaining wall. So they do tie house wall to retaining wall. I'll be honest, I didn't even realize the guys were here today. They didn't show up yesterday because he's juggling multiple jobs. Again, maybe that's a timing thing, dealing with contractors. He's doing a good job as far as I can tell as a novice. But because he's doing a good job, he's got a lot of jobs out there. So it's a matter of getting on his schedule. Guess I need to call the garage door people today to get rough-in dimensions, because it does appear my cement guy has made it to the corner. He is somewhere right here is going to be the edge of a garage door. Kind of know where, need to know where. So this is going to be the other retaining wall. He hasn't framed up yet. So you can look down the wall and see, I assume, this gets centered as they pour, or centered-ish, I don't know. A lot of these little joiners right here, and then a gap. I guess they appear at every joint of the cement, aluminum sidewalls. And I still need to get in here and... Uh-oh. My fancy pipe cover fell off. Still need to move that back here. Kind of curious how hard the cement's going to be to bust up. See, that piece came off pretty easy. It's not super deep right here, but I need to bust this big clump. So if I can get that pipe right here somewhere, that would be perfect. So check this out. Here's how tall a 10-foot sidewall is going to be. Now realize it's not really 10 foot. Pardon me, because she's helping us. Where I'm standing, there's going to be a 4 or 5 inch slab. I've heard them say both. But there's going to be a slab. So I will go up 4 or 5 inches. But this wall is going to be tall. The reason we did that is because, I think I've mentioned this in another video, 10-foot sidewall minus, I've been planning 4 inches for a slab. That gives me 9'8", minus a 12-inch I-beam. That gives me 8'8". I want my truck to be able to back in here. My truck is, all intents and purposes, 7'8", 7'9". So if I would have went with 9-foot walls, it would have been really close to the clearance lights on top. This gives me a little bit of elbow room and just makes the whole ceiling feel bigger downstairs, because on the other side of this door, we don't have an I-beam on this side. So when you walk through over here, you're going to have essentially 9-foot, 8-inch tall ceilings, which gives me room for electrical and all that jazz. Yes, there's going to be the floor joists for the house, every 16-inch OC that we could drill between and all that. But there's going to be a ton of room down here, you know, for like a septic line. I can bring it across out this back wall. Gonna be some tall walls. This is gonna be awesome. All right, time to go check on the electrical people and see what they've figured out so far. A little bit of a bummer here, but waiting on the electric guys to verify. I think they're gonna want to take down one of these 2 oak trees I have here, which give me an awesome amount of shade. But it needs to go. There's a, I don't know if I can find it on this little screen, but there's gonna be a pole about there. Right up over the crest of the hill, there'll be a second pole. And then across the pasture, there'll be a third pole. Grand total of 760 feet is what they tell me. So the only thing I need to pay for is the underground portion from that transformer to the house. Thankfully, it's under 800 foot, so that cuts my electric installation cost way back. But these 2 trees right here, and here's what I mean. There's my pole, well, their pole. Transformer, got one of their lights on it. Probably move that light to the top of the hill, future decision. But I was hoping this tree on the right and this tree on the left. I was hoping we could get away with just limbing up. They called it side trimming, some stuff on the left and some stuff on the right. They just told me while we were up there that they think one of these trees is going to go. So I hear them coming down. Let me chat with them and see exactly what they have in mind, because I was looking at cement while they were down here talking.